Hi, I'm Nicole Ferraro, Editor-in-Chief of Future Cities. I've just been talking with Manny Diaz, who was the mayor of Miami from 2001 to 2008. And one of the first things that we spoke about is how Miami is a different city today than it was when he first took office in 2001.
Miami's changed dramatically, and it changed dramatically because in large part I use the bully pulpit. In addition to the substantive changes that we'll talk about, it was also about building a sense of the future, a sense of where Miami is and where it needs to be in order to remain competitive. Miami, what motivated me really to run was the fact that I had grown up in Miami and that for too long we had been the laughingstock of many in America. And I kind of got sick of that. And then I had always tried to push people from the private sector to take the plunge and do some elected public service. And I thought it was time to practice what I preached. With regard to design, Miami was the poster child for suburban sprawl. And we glorified the car and paved the highways on the way to the suburbs. But even more dramatically than that is the fact that when you're expanding that way, you're spending a significant amount of government resource to create suburbs. So you're building roads, you're building water and sewer lines, you're building new schools at the expense of the urban core. And we, for example, had schools that were embarrassing to go into. So the idea for me was to be able to design a city that works, design a city that makes sense, design a city where people want to move back into the urban core. And in order to do that, you have to do a whole menu of items. When I started, I was remediating, believe it or not, some of our parks, which my predecessors used to dump ashes when the city used to burn its garbage in our parks. Okay, so from that to our waterways, a lot of our waterways were polluted. There was a lot of sewage that was seeping into our waterways, and so we started cleaning programs. So I was working on those sort of traditional kind of environmental friendly initiatives. But and at the same time, I was talking about redesigning the city. And when I started talking about redesigning the city, I really wasn't sure what I was talking about. You know, I just instinctively, I knew that as I looked around, there was something wrong. Didn't know how to do it, but put together the team to do it. And then we came up with Miami 21 and got Miami 21 approved, which is landmark in terms of American urban planning. It's never been done to use smart growth, urban growth, smart growth principles at a citywide level, not just for a neighborhood or for a waterfront, as has been done in other cities, but the entire city. So we threw out the old code and started anew. And now you even see the results already, even though it's only been law for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. You begin to see the difference. You begin to see a whole different Miami with people on the streets, with uses, a lot of retail uses on the streets. And so I was very excited about what we did with Miami 21, and it's being looked at very seriously. Denver adopted something similar. Philadelphia has been working on something similar. And that's really, I think, the way that we should go in the future.